Hello, friends. I greet you all wherever you may be. My name is Kofi Asante. I'm coming to you again from my home in Coventry. And this time, we're going to talk about what is happening in the world at the moment, the economic situation. I think we're all scared of what is going on. Every country, crisis of economic problems. Our leaders are trying their best to help in sort of alleviating the problems that we, the citizens, including themselves, are facing. Because even if they are rich, we won't get them to sleep because we always bombard them with our demands and our problems and things, and they're going to get up and help us solve the problem. So they are equally involved and in trying their best, I would say, to help us solve the problem. So last night, I was sitting in my sofa thinking that, Kofi, what can you do to help? And I said to myself, I'm a Baha'i, and I think I've spoken about the Baha'i a little bit. But if anybody wants to know more about the Baha'i faith, you can go to Google and just type Baha'i.org. And the Baha'i is spelled BAHAI.org. That's it. And you go to the Baha'i website and then, explore and get the message. But what I'm trying to say today is I'm using the concept of the Baha'i faith and trying in my own little knowledge to help explain as to what is happening and the solution to it. In fact, we all finding the solution. So I'm only going to contribute my quota to finding a solution to the situation that we are in now, because we are all suffering. Let's face it. Everybody, is having the pinch. This morning I was listening to news, and the UK inflation is gone, what they call double digit. Double digit? And according to the newsreader, I think it's about, I don't know how many years that they recorded such a thing. So you see that there's a dire need for a solution. So I sat down in my sofa. I prayed. I reflect. And then this morning, I came out with something. Something that happened to be at the Baha'i World Center. And those of you who don't know, the Baha'i World Center is the Baha'i head office, administrative head office, situated in Israel. I went there as a volunteer when I was a young man to work there for 1 year, 7 months, I think. And there I learned a lot of things. And I met this man who told me a story about Abdul Baha. Abdul Baha, if you go to the website, you know more about Abdul Baha. But Abdul Baha is the eldest son of Baha'u'llah, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith. And he's our exemplar. He's the one that we all look to be good Baha'is. He's our protector. We believe that if you have problems and you pray to God and you ask God that, God, please help me, So you go and read the writings of Abdul Baha. He also wrote things because Baha'u'llah gave him the sole right to interpret his writings so that there wouldn't be any divisions in the Baha'i faith, after he had gone. So he was a very strong pillar. He was like the center, Remember, I had a content that I said love is the center boat of creation, God's creation. Abdul Baha is the center boat of the unity of the Baha'is, because Baha'is, we believe in unity. So I said, let me think. So I thought. And I remember that this gentleman told me a story about Abdul Baha. It was something related to Abdul Baha in a story form. And for me, I'm not very, very, very good of sort of explaining and illustrating things. So sometimes, you know, as we all know, in Africa, we have Anansi stories. You know, they are folk tales that help us to explain things, you know, so that everybody will understand. So he told me the story, and I think this story can help me to explain or even to give my suggestion and address our leaders. And when I say our leaders, I mean it could be spiritual leaders, it could be vicars, it could be rabbis, it could be imams, it could be priests, it could be moderators, it could be the Pope. I mean, everybody who leads a group of people. It could be, you know, opinion leaders, it could be CSOs, you know, anybody who is a leader of, you know, we all can help because, as I said, you know, as a Baha'i, I'm a world citizen. So even though I was born and bred in Ghana and I now live in the United Kingdom and I'm part of the United Kingdom, but I consider myself to be a world citizen because Baha'u'llah says that the world is one country and mankind is citizens, which I believe strongly. So I'm a world citizen. So as I said, you know, we have to have solution to this world. So he told me a story. This man told me a story. You know, I'm sure maybe some of you might have heard the story before. So pardon me if you have heard the story before. You know, I'm not trying to sort of like, you know, repeat things, but just to help people who haven't heard of it, you know, because it's something that is what will help, you know, try as much as possible or every way we could to help, you know, if possible, solve the problem or attempt to help solve the problem we are facing now. And he said that a Baha'i had a dream. And in the dream, there was this rainstorm, a heavy rainstorm. You know, it continued for hours and hours and days. And there were mudslide, you know, and mud everywhere. And all of a sudden, people started drowning in the mud. You know, like the Baha'is. The Baha'is are me, or human beings representing. That's you know, the context in which I'm putting this. So, because the Baha'is believe that Abdul Baha is our protector, they were looking for him to come and help because they believe that he's a mystery. In actual fact, you know, we call him a mystery. You know, we call him the master as well. So they were looking everywhere for Abdul Baha to come and help the situation because people are drowning. So, you know, people were yelling and there was no hope. You know, everybody was desperate. They was looking everywhere. And they found Abdul Baha in some secluded area. And he was busily, you know, working on something, you know, putting things together, some sticks and things, you know, putting them together. So as they approached him, they said, Abdul Baha, we've been looking for you. What are you doing here? Abdul Baha smiled and said, oh, I am building a mud machine. They said, they asked him, a mud what? He said, I am building a mud machine. Don't you see? I'm very busy. They were mad. He said, you're building a mud machine. People are drowning and, you know, we're looking for a savior. And, you know, Baha'u'llah has left you in our hands. You are a protector. You should protect us. He said, I am building a mud machine. So, Abdul Baha said, please, you know, let me build a mud machine so that, he said, okay, so what do you mean by the mud machine? Abdul Baha said, you see, this mud is so huge, it's so powerful. And if I attempt on my own to try and get the people out one by one, I may be drowned myself and we all die. So what I'm doing is building a machine that will suck all the mud so that everybody will be free and we will all be happy. Oh, they said yes. So, see the wisdom? So Abdu'l-Baha was building a mud machine to help suck the mud so that everybody will be free. If we come to the crisis that we're having now, just using this story to illustrate and explain and see how we can have a solution. It's the same thing. It looks like every country is fighting on their own to help alleviate the problems of their people. It is good. Very, very, very good. But what I hear on the news is different. They said world crisis. They keep on saying world crisis, world crisis, world crisis, everywhere. They don't say that UK crisis, Ghana crisis, Togo crisis, United States crisis, Russia crisis, China crisis. It is world crisis. So if it's world crisis, it needs a world solution. A world solution. But I don't hear them saying world solution. So please, we should all come together. We are one country, that I said. If we work individually, trying to get ourselves, each other, we will all be drowned. So let's come together in unity, in uniform, like the mad machine. So I'm appealing to the world leaders, the opinion leaders, those who can talk, that it will have influence on this planet, to come together and build a mad machine to suck this problem. And if this mad machine is built, the problem will be alleviated because we have enough. You know, I remember when I was a kid in school, I learned about economy of scale. The principle of economy of scale is about unity. You see, the masses, you know, if you buy things in bulk, or, you know, then the price becomes, you know, a little. Yes. That's my simple understanding about economy of scale. So if all the world leaders come together, the opinion leaders, everybody comes in, the religious leaders, because all religions are one. They all come together and get their heads together and build a mad machine. I think we wouldn't have this problem that we are having. If we don't do that, and we think that we can solve the problem ourselves, I bet you we might solve it, but it might take a long time. And a lot of people will be dying. That is how I see it. That's my humble opinion. So I'm pleading. I am pleading. Please, let's build the mad machine together to suck out the mud, so that we'll all be happy and get enough to eat. So I repeat, the mad machine must be built to help solve the economic problem. This is my humble little advice that I can give based on the Baha'i principle of unity. We are all united. It is unity in diversity. We are different, which is an advantage to us. Because we are different, we all have little intelligence here and there. And when we get them together, that economic of scale, that the great economists talk about, I don't know much about econometrics and all these, the intricacies of calculating all these things and all that. But at least I know that if we come together and we put our heads together to solve a problem, we can easily solve the problem. No doubt. No doubt about it. But if we don't, and we think we are so intelligent, and we think of our selfishness that, oh, let's do it. We don't care about what these people are doing or that. Then, of course, we're going to suffer. Because even if you get the solution yourself, you see others trooping in. Because nobody will die or nobody will sit down for their kids to die whilst they know there's food there. Even if you don't get to give it to them, they will fight for it because they don't want their kids to die. And rightly so. So let's come together. And I repeat, build the man machine. There's a saying that goes, the word to the wise is enough. I think I'll end here. So those who have ears, listen. And if you think what I've said has some sense in it, you take it. If you think it doesn't have any sense, that's up to you. But in my humble opinion, I think that if the leaders come together and put their resources together, put their minds together, put their intelligence together, put their experience together, put their money together, we shall have a solution to this crisis. Thank you very much, friends.